Hello everyone, I am Urza47, and thank you for watching episode 2 of Urza Masters Magic. Last episode we founded our initial city and began surveying the initial environs of that city. We've come across a number of magical nodes here that I cannot quite conquer yet, because Phantom Warriors are, especially when they're guarding a node, are dangerous. Stone Giants and Great Drakes obviously are dangerous. The main thing I'm interested in at this point are these neutral cities, like this outpost of Bremen. It has 2 swordsmen and a spearman, which is more than what I currently have, which is just 1 swordsman and 1 spearman. But I have a ace up my sleeve, which I'll get into in just a second. We also have a Null town here and an Orc town over there. So, what is that ace in the sleeve, you might ask? Well, I'm a wizard and the neutral cities are not. So I have all sorts of really cool abilities. In particular, what I'm going to be doing in terms of these neutral cities is I'm going to... Normally you would like raise a conventional army and like attack the town, and you can still do all that, but I have a better idea, because I have a very particular spell called Sprites. And the Sprite spell will summon a number of 4, I believe, per unit. And each of these, they're little fairies that fly around and cast magical ranged attacks. Now, why is that so good? The real reason is because A, they are flying, and B, they are ranged attacks. And as you might realize, swordsmen and spearmen do not fly and do not have ranged attacks. So they can't actually attack the sprites at all. Can't do it. They're just flying around, flinging spells at them, and they can't do a thing about it. So all I have to do is bring a single unit of sprites into that battle, and I just win it. Now, it might take several turns because there is a 50 combat turn limit, and more importantly, there is a limited amount of ammo that you can use on ranged attacks, including magical ranged attacks. But what's going to happen is, as soon as my ammo is exhausted, if they're not all dead already, I can just wait out the 50 turns, and then the next game turn I can immediately attack the town again with a new load of ammo, and whatever's left I can zap with further ranged attacks. And the idea is that I would kill the units faster than they can replace them. We hope. If that's not the case, I can always just summon more sprites, because 2 or 3 units certainly are more dangerous than just 1. So how can we go about doing that? Well, they cost 100 magic points, and these 5 tree icons here means it's going to take me 5 turns to cast the spell, which seems slightly low, but close enough. There's probably some rounding error or math I'm not quite getting right. In particular note that will help me cast with these sprites is I have this hero unit I hired at the end of last episode, Zaldron. In particular, he has a 7 magic point caster skill. And the caster skill allows him to add half of that, in this case 3 points, to a wizard casting overland spells if he's inside the wizard's fortress, which he is. Here's my fortress. Yay! So what he's going to be doing, he's going to be sitting in my fortress with me, helping me cast this spell. And if I go here to the magic screen, I can see that my casting skill is 19 parentheses 16. This 16 here indicates what my natural skill is. It's twice the number of spell books I began the game with, in which case 8, which is also my power base. And his 3 adds to my natural 16 to give me a total of 19, which is what that number is here. Now, if you divide that into 100, it gives me 6 turns. The game is reporting 5, probably because I have like leftover. Oh, right, yeah, because I have leftover points from the last turn that I didn't spend. Or I haven't spent this turn's points, I should say. So in 5 turns, I will spend. So, like, it would report 1 turn if it took 2 turns to do it, because it would take all of this turn's mana allocation plus some percentage of next turn's mana allocation, and it would report that as 2 turns versus 1 turn. You get it at the end of the turn, or if you can do it all with this turn's mana, you get to cast it as what's called an instant, and you can cast it and use it immediately this turn. But the main limiting factor is I only have 37 magic points, and obviously that's a lot less than 100, and I'm only getting 2 per turn right now, so I'm going to have to bump all of my power base into mana, convert it all into mana, 8 magic points per turn generated. That's still less than 19. So actually, if I get out my calculator here and do some math, and if I'm getting 7 mana a turn, because I have upkeep somewhere, where do I have upkeep? Oh, the magic spirit, that's right. I have to pay 1 of those 8 mana to keep this magic spirit flying around, which is worth doing. But it would take 15 turns to generate all 100 mana if I didn't already have the 37 here. So I need a total of 63 more mana. Generating 7 a turn means I can get it in 9 turns. So I should wait for 4 turns, if my math is right, before I actually begin casting the spell. Because I can begin casting it now, but that's actually gonna... I'm gonna run out of mana before I've actually finished casting the spell. And then I'll have this half-cast spell sitting in my buffer, and that's just not good to do, because when you're in that state, you can't cast other spells. You can only cast 1 spell at a time. So we're gonna wait on actually summoning the sprites until we have enough magic points here to carry all the way through successfully. So, all of that having been said, let's... Oh, we actually have a second... we'll wait on this one, and you can just patrol, that's fine. We have a problem, which is that we have a gold deficit. And we only have 8 gold right now, so we're actually going to go bankrupt in 8 turns, which is obviously not good because we're going to have to start disbanding units, and we don't want to do that. So what we're going to do is... well, first we're going to look and see what we're doing here in terms of producing. We're producing a marketplace that we're going to get in 10 turns, and obviously that's more than 8, so we're not going to be able to benefit that before we go bankrupt. So we're going to go to the tax collector, and we're going to raise the tax rates. And, oh, look at that. It didn't even increase our unrest at all. Oh, because we have another unit here. Zeldron here can help pacify the population. So the additional taxes... Or yeah, I have 7 in taxes plus another gold worth of road, river, ocean, terrain bonus. That's expressed as a percentage, and I'll get into that in just a second. Minus our 3 maintenance. And we have like another gold to upkeep the... Actually, if I go to armies here, we can see that our total army upkeep is 3 gold. 1 for the swordsman and 2 more for Zeldron, because he takes 2. Oh, speaking of which, I didn't go into it, but he is actually also a sage, and that gives me free spell research. You might have noticed here in the magic screen. I'm getting 3 RP, even though I'm not actually putting any of my power base into research. So very slowly, we're going to be able to research the Wall of Fire spell here. 54 turns, just on those 3 points per turn. So now we're actually generating a profit of 2 gold. And now I'm wondering, can I increase it even further to 2 per turn? That does increase my profit slightly, but yeah, now we're rebelling, and we don't want that. So, whoops, F7 for the tax collector, 1.5 gold. That's just fine. Okay, and on to our magic spirit, who has not moved yet this turn. You can go ahead and patrol around a little bit. So right now we're just gonna keep exploring. Wait until we get the mana we need to start. Ooh, what did we do? I wish it didn't move away quite so quickly. We have another Hamlet of Xanten, 3 halberdiers and a swordsman. And this town already has a smithy, a builder's hall, and an armory. So it's a bigger town. And we're going to have our swordsman like loop back around and then come back into the town. Ooh, what do we have here? It's unexplored, obviously, because I haven't moved a unit into it yet. Which we will do now. More Phantom Warriors. We're not going to go in just yet, but it's good to know that that is a thing. Okay, looks like this is the end of a peninsula, which I suppose is good. I'm not sure I'm super keen on being in the same continent as an opposing wizard. Okay, we'll end this turn, then next turn we'll start casting the sprites. And I am correct. And you will spend your entire movement to move into the forest, which is okay. And spells. We'll go ahead and begin casting sprites. We might have a turn worth of floating mana, which is not the end of the world. Oh, we got more iron ore over here. Oh, I forgot about the surveyor. So you'll notice I have a 15% gold bonus based on the terrain here, largely generated from the city being on a river and there being a bunch of rivers around here. Like, so the river gives you 2 food plus 20% gold if you put a city on it. And so, yeah, that 15% gold bonus, you can see that reflected here. Whoops, here. So it gives me an extra gold piece here that I wouldn't otherwise get. And so our magic spirit. I guess we couldn't just more land down here. Right, because we haven't explored the entire southern extent of this continent. And we're actually going to make our way gradually towards this sorcery node, or rather this temple that I inexplicably didn't explore when I went through there the first time. Exeter is growing to a population of 6, very good. So that'll increase my gold income. Now 4 per turn. And we'll see what's in here. Unicorns. Yeah, that's definitely not something that I want to attack. And, oh, we have a Tower of Wizardry, which, not in addition to being a lair, like these things are, various monster ruins and things of that nature. This is a portal to the world of Mirror, which I can click to by using the plane here. And I haven't explored any of it, obviously, which is why the map is black. But these portals are a gateway to the other plane of existence, which you can optionally begin the game in if you start with the Mirror trait, which I did not, so I started on the default world of Arcanus. Mirror is noteworthy because, A, there's a lot fewer wizards that tend to be there because most computer wizards will not take that trait. B, there are a lot more magical nodes. The nodes that are there are more valuable. There's a lot more terrain bonuses you can get. You can find like adamantium there, for instance. It's just all kinds of great. The main downside to Mirror is that the creatures that are guarding the layers tend to be more powerful because they scale with the power of the nodes that they're guarding. And there's an Ifrit in there, which is obviously way too strong for me. I do kind of wish the game actually told you the stats of those things in-game, but it's easy enough to look up what they are in the game manual. That oh-so-classic piece of 90s nostalgia there. Okay, another town here, the outpost of Glocknar. 3 orc swordsmen. Okay, so there's plenty of easy pickings for my sprites as soon as I finish summoning them, which will be next turn. Actually, 2 turns, because I don't have the 24 magic points remaining as of yet. And you can just go straight back to town. That's fine. Because eventually this is gonna, yeah, in like 7 or 8 turns, this town is gonna pop another population unit. At which point it might need that unit there to prevent unrest. And I am not a fan of unrest. Oh, we have iron and silver. So 62% production bonus because of all the hills and mountains that are here. But unfortunately, it's difficult to grow because you can only grow a city as much as the amount of food you can naturally have there. So this town will never grow very big just because it doesn't have a lot of food that it can grow, which is a shame. But when you have that big a production bonus, it doesn't matter so much. So we finished our marketplace. My imp minion informs me, and that will increase our gold income even further. 4 gold per turn coming out of the marketplace. That's really good. So we're right now getting 10 extra population per turn out of our housing, which is nice, but I think I would rather increase it further by building a farmer's market. It adds +3 food and +30 people per turn. That's really good, especially early in the game. The main reason I bought the marketplace was not for the gold bonus, although it's nice. It's because you need it to build the farmer's market. Oh, I'm wrong. We did get these sprites this turn because we paid for it with this turn's mana, and in fact, my math was exactly accurate. I totally did that intentionally. So, First order of business. Where are we going to go? Actually, what we're going to do is we're going to move here. And we're going to notice 4 swordsmen. Okay. So that had 4 swordsmen, and it's 4 gnolls. And they have like a smithy, a barracks, and a builder's hall. I'm mainly trying to figure out... Oh, this is the unit pane for the sprites, by the way. +1 to hit, 3 ranged attacks. And Forester, they can pass through Forester to cost of 1 movement point per square, which is not really relevant because they are flyers. They can just fly over the forest. So the decision now is what city do I want to attack first? I could attack this one first. But I think it's a smaller town, although it's less heavily guarded. But we'll head over to this one. And ooh, we have another lair that we have not explored. And we haven't found any lairs that were like unguarded. Sometimes you find some that are unguarded, they just give you like 50 gold or something. And I'm slightly disappointed I have not yet discovered any of those. Many stone giants. Yeah, no, I think we're gonna opt out of that one. And you can, your scouting job having been completed, you can head back to town. Although, depending on how quickly we conquer this, we might need this unit over here to be a garrison. In fact, yeah, you can just stop there. Oh, and this icon here means you've been in my employ long enough to become a regular, which is very, very good. Regular units, I believe they have 1 extra point of attack, and that is correct. You have 4 rather than 3. And my mana is increasing much more slowly than it did before, because I'm spending a lot of mana on the upkeep of these sprites. But they're so good, I don't mind paying that in the slightest. And we make sure they've not... Okay, still just the swordsman. Okay, yeah, they're just kind of sitting over there. They're not going to be able to do anything. I can right-click. Yeah, they have 6 melee attack, 2 armor, but only... they have a large shield, though, which is not great. They have 2+2 extra defense against all ranged attacks. I believe that still applies to magical ranged attacks, although I'm not certain. But we'll see right now how effective these ranged attacks are against these swordsmen. And I also have the opportunity to cast, Giant Strength. But that only adds melee attack strength, which is not ideal. And Eldritch Weapon I could cast if I had 15 mana, which I don't. I only have either 8 or 12. And it doesn't say whether this doesn't... I don't think that applies to magical attacks, but I can always cast Firebolt, though, which is a thing. Okay, that is... Oh! Okay, we just killed one completely. And now we're out of... Yeah, we're out. So we're just gonna... click our way through these 50 turns. Because they can't do anything. All units retreat exhausted. Now, I could just click the retreat button, but the problem with that is when you retreat from a battle, there's a chance rolled independently for each unit that they will not escape and they'll just kind of die. Which is not good. I would like to not lose my fun magical unit. Got another sorcery node here. So all we've found are sorcery nodes. I don't think we've seen any... Have we seen any green nodes at all? Or red nodes? Just sorcery? I wish I had illusionary warriors I could cast, but that's probably not in my... I only have 2 blue books, so it's only like a 50-50 chance, I think, for each common spell to be in my book at all. Oh well. So let's proceed to the next turn. Go ahead and investigate. More Phantom Warriors. But we did discover a lair over here, and they did not... Oh, they did replace the unit. Oh my god. This might take longer than I had initially anticipated. Okay, well, we should definitely attack the spearmen first. Yeah, we only get 4 attacks. And we needed all 4 to kill the spearmen. Yeah, very lame. Okay, we might need a... you can just patrol. Okay, I think we might need a, like, plan B here on this, this whole sprite plan. But I have a pretty good plan, because alternatively, we could send them over here to the Phantom Warriors. Phantom Warriors also don't have ranged attacks. They also don't have any defense at all. They're very easy to kill. And unlike towns, they're not gonna, like, train more units faster than I can kill them, which seems to be the case. Not very disappointing. Exeter, meanwhile, has grown to a population of 7. They're going to get the farmers market in 6 turns, and now we finally have our first rebel. You're feeling very rebellious. What happens if we lower the tax rate? Our gold per turn goes way down. Yeah, it's not worth it. How much would it cost to buy it? I don't know. More than I can afford. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to head down to the south. Well, they have not replaced the other unit yet. So I guess theoretically I could still win a battle of attrition, although I think I really would want a second unit of sprites to be able to do that. And let's check out this other... a few warbears. Okay, that is not terribly dangerous. I can... if nothing else, I can kill those with my sprites. And we'll send the sprites down here. Oh, what do we got here? Some swordsman raiders. Uh-oh. And actually, I should have my magic spirit begin heading in the... in the general direction of the... because once I take this node, I'm going to actually want to use my magical spirit to merge with it. Although, I could just cast one. How much does it cost to cast one of those? 23? That's not so bad. Although it would slow down my... my accumulation of mana in order to get a... second sprite. I think I'm okay with that. But anyway, that intel is good to have. They're probably going to head towards my town and attack it, which is fine with me. They're not gonna pose too big a threat. Got some swamps over here, and we've discovered, oh my! Not only is it a node, it is a this purplish node. There's an enemy wizard over here that has already taken a node, which is somewhat scary, but... so anyway, we'll move in here. Yeah, Phantom Warriors will enter. That's fine. Exactly how many are in here? 4 of them. Yeah, and they can't... they do have some armor, I take it back, because of their location within the sorcery node. All blue units get a buff, 2 melee, 2 armor, and 2 resist within the node, and they also have a bunch of immunities. And the fact that they're illusion means that their attacks totally ignore armor. They use illusionary attacks, which is really nasty if they actually get to attack, which they don't, because I'm flinging magical spells at them. Although that one was ineffective. There we go. Oh, we're out of those already, or are we just out of range? Nope, I think we're just out of... yeah, okay. Oh, this is going to take longer because they're moving around. To what end, I'm not sure. Okay, well this is not ideal, having to click through each of these turns agonizingly long. I mean, they're moving towards me. Yeah, they can't attack me because I'm flying. Yeah, I'm not sure why they're moving towards me. It doesn't really matter where they move. Unless I did something stupid like try to melee attack them, which I'm not. The reason why a melee attack would be stupid, incidentally, is because when you engage in melee combat, it's actually both units will exchange blows simultaneously. So what's going to happen is I fly down to them to melee attack, then they're just going to like murder me with their illusionary attacks. And as you can see, I only have like 2 armor, which doesn't work in 1 hit apiece. They'll just annihilate my sprites and I will get nothing for it, which is not good. I could theoretically cast... Ooh, I could cast Firebolt 5 times. And there's no risk of them fizzling because I'm in a node, because I have Node Mastery. But there's no point for that. I'd sooner just save my mana to be able to cast a second one of these things. So that I would get twice as many attacks per turn and not have to spend as many turns agonizingly clicking through each and every turn one at a time. Oh my god. Okay, turn 50. And we're done. Okay. On to the next turn. Yeah, they're about to attack my town. Which, again, I'm okay with. I have my Zaldron here that can just blast spells. And we're gonna... Before we attack the node again, we're actually gonna take our Magical Spirit. And, oh, we have... Cherie's Hellhounds, 2 of them. Which are kind of ordinary units, but... Yeah, they're there guarding the node, and that's probably one of her towns. Oh, that's her capital. That's her fortress. Oh, and she's got some skeletons, swordsmen, spearmen, a crap ton of hellhounds. Okay, yeah, that's... Unease. Yeah, I can see her abilities and powers here. She has red and black magic, as well as a little bit of green. Her objective is a perfectionist who wishes to develop and maintain huge, prosperous cities. They'll concentrate on creating new buildings and city improvements. They preferred research beneficial city enchantments. Personality chaotic. So I can't depend on them doing anything. Conjurer. They're good at summoning things, which I might have guessed. And our relations are unease. Okay. Anyway, back over here to our sprites. We will attack the illusion or the Phantom Warriors. Now that there's only 3 of them. Ooh, that was a nice attack. And how many? 2 more rounds of spells. We might be able to kill a second one if we're lucky, and we're probably not. Nope. Okay, well they only have 2 units moving around, so clicking through these 50 turns should be slightly faster than it was last time. And at the conclusion of this combat, that opposing wizard is probably going to like send me a message to say, hey, hello, would you like to maybe trade spells? Or she might just unilaterally declare war on me. She's chaotic. It's hard to know what she's going to do on any given turn. But the fact that she's a red mage is good for me because she might have some useful red spells that she can potentially trade me. Or green spells, for that matter. And they're actually gonna attack my town at this point. which is fine. It's fine. Okay, so we'll compare the Orc Swordsman, which is a recruit, to our Hyman Swordsman, which is identical except that they have more experience and therefore a second attack. We also have a unit of Spearsmen and, of course, Spearmen, not Spearsmen. And, of course, we have our mage here. He can ride forward and begin blasting these guys again. We can actually also cast spells. Now, I can cast a spell, or they can cast a spell. They can cast Counter Magic, Dispel Magic, True, Firebolt. Yeah, so these are the spells that he has, and these are the spells that I have that he can also cast. So you can cast Firebolt, but it would be better for him to just use regular magical range attacks. I can also use my own private mana pool, but that's kind of dumb. I'd rather save that for more sprites. We'll march forward and continue casting spells. And you don't have enough mana to be able to do that anymore. Yeah, it's 3 per round, so you're done. I'm just gonna run away. Oh, that was a brutal attack by the swordsman there. Oh, Lustrous Urza 47. Surely our two empires can live in peace and harmony. And Zaldrin has made a level as a result of that brilliant spell casting on his part. So he gets an extra point of attack, defense, hit points, and resistance. And more importantly, he improves his caster and sage skills. So at 20, he's a Myrmidon, and it takes 60 to get to captain. So his magical spells are nastier. He has 15 MP as a caster, which is even better. He can further buff my skill. It's now 23 effectively. But I still have the whole mana problem, unfortunately. Speaking of mana problems, we're actually going to cast the Magic Spirit now. I think we do. Because we're going to get the... We're going to pop this node relatively soon. If not this turn, no luck. Then certainly the next turn. We've been unlucky. We haven't been able to get... Although I haven't done the math, I don't know how unlucky it is, but I might have guessed we could have gotten 2 on 1 turn at some point, but oh well. At least each successive time is going by faster. And this is probably really nasty because it hasn't been popped yet. But just to satisfy my own curiosity, a Demon Lord. Yeah, we're not going in there. Magic, we might as well chat with you. You bear greetings. So we can exchange spells. What type of spell? I can get Hellhounds or Warp Wood. Oops. I guess Warp Wood. Yeah, forget it. You don't have anything I want. I can propose a treaty. A Wizard Pact, maybe? Not acceptable. Okay, well, goodbye. You don't want anything to do with me. That's fine. So we'll get our Magic Spirit. There we go. And you can head over towards the magical node. Yes, I wish to enter. Okay, are we finally going to be able to claim the magic node? Oh, for God's sake. Oh, come on! Boo! Oh, how are you such bad shots, you fucking sprites? There's one little guy left. Oh, well. I mean, the Magic Spirit is not there yet, so God's sakes. And I thought I'd be free of units taking really bad shooting when I stopped playing XCOM for a little bit. But no, now I have sprites missing with magic spells. Ugh. Okay, so he has a magic spirit of his own, which is fine. We'll just sort of coexist. Zones of control are not a thing in Master of Magic, incidentally. How are we doing on here? We're going to get the farmer's market next turn, which is good. Right on cue. And now our population is growing very quickly. In 2 turns, we're going to be able to grow again. Oh, actually, more than that, because we're not going to be actually growing housing. We're going to want a shrine, because it reduces nightshade. It reduces unrest level. Reading is hard. It also adds mana, both of which are things I badly need. Although, I could build some settlers. Which... yeah, I think I want to do that. Because I have so much fertile land around me, and now that I've seen another wizard who doesn't seem to be particularly expansionistic, but I want to be able to... I don't want her, like, forward settling right next to me, and then I'll be like, oh, it'll be painful. We'll just build the settlers and begin claiming some of this stuff. And, ooh, what do we have here? Many guardian spirits. No, I don't want to go in there. Okay, can we please actually kill the Phantom Warriors this time? Yeah, they're moving away for no good reason. There we go. Okay, we are triumphant. So we find 117 mana crystals. Wow, that's amazing. Yes, that's exactly what I wanted. Mana crystals to cast more sprites. And a Word of Recall spell. So the Word of Recall spell, it's an arcane spell. And F3. If I flip to it here in my spell book, Word of Recall is a really good spell if you have heroes that are in combat, because you can use it to... it's an alternative to fleeing. You cast it on a friendly unit, and it teleports them back into your summoning circle, which is important because they don't have to flee in that case, and therefore don't have to eat the chance of being killed during the retreat. For heroes, that chance is 25%. So every time you run away and you have heroes, each hero is going to have to make that 25% roll. And if you're unlucky, they will just disappear and you will be very sad. But if you cast Word of Recall, you will be not sad because they won't have to face that risky die roll. Okay, so we'll go ahead and move in here. And I guess we'll have to wait until next turn before we can... Ooh, we don't need so big a food surplus. We can put more of that into building, so we'll get the settlers in only 5 turns. 5 turns. There we go. We need some food to feed our army. And speaking of spells, yeah, we'll go ahead and start casting sprites right now. We can also cast Word of Recall in... Oh, it's not an arcane spell. It's a blue spell. Ooh, I didn't... For some reason, I thought it was arcane. Okay, that's fine, too. I mean, it means I can use my heroes more aggressively. It's a really great spell. I'm glad I have it. But yeah, sprites are what we want right now. And we have mana crystals so we can get it. And you're going to meld. There we go. Now we have 5, which is not a lot, but it's something. And we're now creating a lot of magic points. So we can actually start thinking about... Well, hold on a second. Let's go over here. There's more Phantom Warriors over there, so we're going to take this node as well. Oh, it's actually bigger than I thought because I have Node Mastery. Each of those counts double. So I'm actually... My power base increased by 10 and not 5, so now it's 18. Ooh, so good, so good. And we'll have our other magic spirit begin making its way back towards this node, which I'm also going to likewise capture. Oh wow, I can get all 3 of these. That's great. And all I need is sprites in order to do it. Okay, well, that'll do it for this episode. Thank you all for watching. Join me next time when I will cast that second sprite, send them down here, conquer these 2 blue nodes, find, in addition to increasing my power level, also get some cool loot out of it. And these things here are also unicorns, fire elemental, sprites. Sprites versus sprites, probably not a great idea because they're kind of expensive to cast, but they're eminently killable if you have the means to do it. Which I probably don't right now, but anyway, thank you all for watching. I'll see you next time. So long.